Hello, class. My name is Cesar Infante Guerra, and today I will be presenting Canvas Day 5, which is Police in Schools. Me and my group, we were supposed to do the homeroom documentary, so I'm going to be presenting on that. So, the agenda for today for Canvas Day 5, Police in Schools, we're obviously going to start off with this introduction. I'm going to describe the student's relationship with law enforcement in the homeroom documentary. This was the Oakland School District. And I'm going to explain two examples of these students and how they perceive them or their need to be in schools in regard with law enforcement. So the relationship between the students at Oakland high schools and law enforcement is, let's say, tumultuous, to say the least. There's several problems with over policing, meaning there's a heavy and constant presence at the high schools that unfortunately they target minority groups. So the first one that I could think of is that although the police presence has been increased for years leading up to the 2020, which is the year the documentary was finished, the students have yet to feel quote unquote fully safe from law enforcement. And we could take a quote from at the 33 minutes 51 second mark, where one of the students was explaining how other students had post-traumatic stress disorder symptoms following some experience with officers. And this was this could be that them either being detained or arrested or even being looked at in a certain way. It can feel overwhelming for the students with such a constant presence of police, and this just causes them to be demotivated and even being pushed out with some of these students. So, two examples of how these students perceive them on the law enforcement or their need to be in schools. Well, all of those pent up tensions and emotions and experiences, very valid experiences, led the students of Oakland high schools to unite and protest against the school board. So they elected a couple of students by the name of Smith Dahl and Garib to represent them on the school board so they could have their issues addressed. And one of these issues addressed was a motion to have law enforcement cut in half. It was an amendment that was proposed to the board, and both student assistants, Smith Dahl and Garib, they were in favor of the motion. The motion was I'm gonna amend the current amount of current law enforcement down to half. However, the rest of the board, named most of them or some of them not being minority, mind you, they were enough altogether as a constituents to vote against the motion, and the students' needs were not listened to. And this is kind of like the effect of the systematic issues that we kind of still have in place with polices in schools. Although students can elect other students to go up to the school board and have their voices somewhat heard up there, not much difference can be made, unfortunately, without the full or at least majority support of school boards. And if you want to change things like this from happening again, we're just going to have to change school boards, I guess.